Hello everyone, welcome back. In the previous lectures, we were discussing about the wastewater treatment. We talked about the various processes that we go through in order to treat our wastewater, wherein we went for preliminary treatment, then primary treatment, secondary treatment, and when we require the most treated water for drinking purposes, the potable water, then we have to go for the tertiary processes, and wherein we may go for disinfection and much more. So yeah, that comes in the tertiary processes. And in secondary treatment, I told you about the biological process that takes place over there. And in that biological process, we get the activated sludge. We get we can say the residue from the waste, okay, which is known as sludge. So yes, the sludge or the sewage that we get out of it, sludge that we get out of the treatment of wastewater is being treated. Okay, so we can use this treated sludge in many things, in many ways. Like we can use it as a fertilizer, or we can use it as a manure in our irrigation purposes. So yes, it can be used. Now this sludge can be treated aerobically or it can be treated in anaerobically. I have already told you about the aerobic process, wherein the organic, or we can say the bacteria acts upon the organic matter in the presence of oxygen. So here, in case of anaerobic sludge digestion, what we do is we treat the sludge in the absence of molecular oxygen. Here what happens is microorganisms again decompose the complex organic matter into the simpler one, but it is in the form of gas like methane and carbon dioxide. Okay, so in this case, what happens is the organic matter, the complex organic matter, is converted to the gaseous form, or we can say to biogas. Right? Then, even after this digestion process, what happens is some organic matter still remains there, and that is known as the digested organic matter. Right? So yeah, this is it. Then when we talk about the anaerobic digestion, this anaerobic digestion is used to treat high strength wastewater, wherein we have like we can say the seabed sludges, or we can say the black water, the fecal matter, the agricultural waste, the industrial waste, wherein the wastes are much more toxic. They contain large number of organic matter, which is very harmful at the same time. So we can say that in this process we can remove such organic matter from the waste. Okay, all right. Moving on. So if you talk of anaerobic sludge digestion process, it is a two-stage process, or we can say it is a two-phase process. By two-stage or two-phase, it doesn't mean that it has two tanks. That is why it is known as two-phase or two-stage process. It is not like that. Herein what happens is two processes, or there are two stages or two phases in this process that takes place. Okay. So here we make the use of two bacteria in two processes. Two different bacteria are used. Okay, and both of these bacteria rely on each other. So here what we can say is stage 1 and stage 2 is interdependent, and the bacteria that is being used in stage 1 and the bacteria that is being used in stage 2 is also interdependent, or we can say they rely on each other. Okay, so moving on. So as you can see here in this picture, it shows a flow diagram of this anaerobic sludge digestion process, wherein we have the complex organic matter that is present in the sludge, and then we add some bacteria to it. Like herein, we are adding a bacteria, kind of a bacteria to it, and then this bacteria acts upon the organic matter that is present in the sludge, and it is converted into the organic acid, okay, or some simpler form. Now this simpler form of organic matter is acted upon by another bacteria, and then it gives the gas, the biogas. It may be the carbon dioxide and methane. Okay, So this is what happens in anaerobic sludge digestion process. Two different bacteria are used and both are interdependent in each other. They rely on each other. Okay. So is in this picture you can, I have divided it into two stages. Like in first stage, I told you the organic matter is acted upon by the bacteria. Now what kind of bacteria is this? This is the acid forming bacteria. Okay, so in the first stage, this acid forming bacteria acts upon the organic matter. This organic matter is converted into the simpler organic material. Okay, or we can say the organic acids. Okay, so this bacteria is acid producing bacteria, acid forming bacteria. Okay, so this is the first stage that takes place in anaerobic sludge digestion. After that, we have second stage. In second stage, what happens is these organic acids that were produced in the first stage are being acted upon by another bacteria. Now, what kind of bacteria is this? This is the methane forming bacteria. Okay, so this methane forming bacteria acts upon the organic acids, and in this reaction, what do we get is the gas, that is the carbon dioxide and methane. So this is the second stage of um, sludge digestion process, which is anaerobic. Here, as you can see, is molecular oxygen is not required. Anaerobic bacteria, uh, the food for organic matter, the food for organic matter here is the food for microorganisms is the organic matter. Okay. In aerobic digestion, what happens is the microorganisms feed upon organic matter, but in the presence of oxygen. Now, in this case, this organic matter again acts as a food for microorganisms, but here the molecular oxygen is not present. Okay. Okay. After this, we have design of anaerobic sludge digestion tank, digester, or you can say digestion tank. In this, we have to go with the slow rate digesters and the high rate digesters. So there's a slight change in slow and high rate digester. Okay, in high rate digesters, we take the detention time as well, the time for which the sludge remains in the digester tank. That is the detention time. So in high rate digesters, we take in consideration the detention time as well. But in slow digesters, we may not see that. Okay. So moving on, whenever we have to design the sludge digestion tank, anaerobic sludge digestion tank, in this what we do is we first of all calculate the volume of digestion tank. Now this volume of digester, or we can say the volume of digesting sludge, if you talk about or talk of digesting sludge, that is the function, or we can say it depends upon the volume of fresh sludge that we add daily, that is being added daily, that we get from the various places. Okay, the factories, the industries, the residential areas, it can be from anywhere. Okay, so the that is the volume of the fresh sludge that will be added daily. And also it depends on the volume of digested sludge that is produced. So here, what is this volume of digested sludge that is produced? That is what do we get after the digestion of sludge. Okay, see, first thing that I told you is the daily sludge that enters the digester tank, then the sludge that is being digested or that is being produced by that after the process, that is the digested sludge. So we can say the volume of this digesting sludge is equal to the function of these. It depends on these two things. Next is, if you talk of the volume of the remaining digested sludge versus the digestion time, it is a parabolic relationship, or we can say parabolic function, that I already discussed in the previous point, that the volume of digesting sludge and the volume of digested sludge, these are two things. Okay, this is, they form the parabolic function. It's a parabolic function. Okay, which means the average volume will be equal to the initial volume minus 2/3 of final volume minus initial volume. Okay, So initial volume, what will be the initial volume? Initial volume will be the volume of fresh sludge. Okay. What will be the final one? It will be the volume of digested sludge. Okay. So this will give you the average volume. Okay. So moving on. So yes, this is the equation for the volume of digesting sludge. Then where V average is the average volume of digesting sludge, which is calculated in meter cube per day. Then V1 is the volume of fresh sludge added daily, which is again calculated in meter cube per day. And V2 again is the volume of digested sludge that is produced daily, which is calculated in meter cube per day. Okay, so moving on, then we have Acha, now if you want to calculate the volume of total sludge, I was talking about the average of the digesting sludge, average volume of digesting sludge. Now, if I want the total volume, or we can say the volume of total sludge, total amount of sludge that may be digested, that can be given by adding both digesting and digested sludge. Okay, the sludge that has been digested and the sludge that is in the process of digesting. Okay, if we add up both of them, we will get the volume of total sludge, the total amount of sludge that was there. So yes, that will be the volume of total sludge. It is denoted by Vs, and it is equal to the V average multiplied by Td. Td is the time required for digestion, but the amount of days, the number of days in which the sludge will be digested. Okay, then V2 into Ts. Now what is this Ts? Ts is the time that we provide for sludge storage. Okay, so yeah, this is the equation for the volume of total sludge. Now, talking about the sludge volume. If you talk about the sludge volume, what is the sludge volume? What is the sludge volume all about? If you talk about the occupation, or we can say the sludge volume, it normally occupies the bottom of, or we can say the bottom of the digestion tank. That we all know. Sludge, that is settleable, that will all obviously settle down at the bottom of the digester tank. So the bottom half of the digester tank will be having the sludge. Okay, and the superintendent liquid, that means the liquid that will be present above the sludge will be occupying the rest of the tank. Okay, so if you want to find out the total digester volume, the total volume of the digester tank, then in that case it is denoted by Vt, and it is given by twice Vs. Vs, as I already told you, is the total sludge volume, the amount of sludge that is totally present over there, being it digesting or being it digested. The addition of both, that means the total sludge that is present over there. If we multiply it with 2, which is twice Vs, that will give you the total digester volume, or the volume of that total digestion tank. So yeah. So that was all for today. Thank you so much. I will be coming back with another lecture with the design of the slow rate tank and the high rate tanks. So yes, I will be discussing them in detail, and we will be performing some numericals as well. I will be showing them how to solve them. And yeah, that will be end of this chapter. So yes, thank you so much. If you have any suggestions, if you have anything in your mind which you want to change, please feel free to tell me. I will do so. Thank you so much. Have a nice one.